Hello, my dear children of class 7. So today we will start with the third part of the expansion of Delhi Sultanate. Now we have come to the Tughlaq dynasty. So we had seen that in the year 1320 CE, the last Khilji ruler was killed. And after that, what happens? We see the emergence of the Tughlaq dynasty, and the founder was Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Okay, and Ghiyasuddin was the one who had killed the last Khilji ruler. So Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was one of the founder and the ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. So here we see that the founder of Tughlaq dynasty is Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, and he ruled for a very short period, that is from 1320 to 24 CE. He was an efficient ruler, and also he concerned about his people. He wanted to, that is why he introduced many reforms so that people are happy, and that new reforms also encouraged agriculture. So that way he was really concerned about his people. Okay, and then it is said that he was murdered, right? It was a planned accident. So Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was killed, right? Then his son, who is his son? Juna Khan, ascended the throne as what? So after his death, after Ghiyasuddin's death, we see that Muhammad bin Tughlaq becomes the next ruler of this dynasty. And it is said that Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq had served Alauddin Khilji. Okay, and he was one of the governor of the border region. And then after the death of the last ruler, he comes up. And now we see here that Juna Khan ascends the throne as Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So let us read this passage, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, from your book. The Tughlaq dynasty. In 1320 CE, the last Khilji ruler was killed by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. He then founded a new dynasty that ruled India for the greater part of the 14th century CE. Let's read about Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was the son of a Turkish father and an Indian mother. He was an efficient administrator and a capable military commander. He introduced several reforms for the welfare of his subjects and suppressed revolts in distant provinces. So what he did for the good of his people, he has started many reforms. Okay, many changes he brought in so that he can bring about peace for the people under him. Okay. He restored peace and stability in the Delhi Sultanate. Ghiyasuddin died in what appeared to be a deliberately planned. So it was all planned. Who's that? He was succeeded by his son Juna Khan, who ascended the throne under the title of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So his name was what? Juna Khan. But after ascending throne, is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So let us give an introduction about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. How was Muhammad bin Tughlaq? Let us see. Now Muhammad bin Tughlaq, that is, he ruled from 1324 to 51 CE. Was one of the most learned and accomplished scholars of his time. He was very much skilled in languages. He was intellectual. So he was the most learned and accomplished scholars of his time. His intellectual curiosity and thirst for knowledge were boundless and beyond boundary. Gifted with an extraordinary memory and a keen intellect, he had mastered logic, philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, and physical science. So he was masters in all these subjects, philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, and physical science. He was a lover of Persian literature and poetry. Calligraphy. You know what is calligraphy? It means you write letters in a very artistic manner, and also fine arts and music. He loved the company of learned men. He wanted to be surrounded by learned people. Now let's move. Historians are divided on the nature of his character. Now let's see what does the historians speak about his character. The contradictions in his character have led some historians to believe that he was mad. He has been variously described as the wisest fool, a madman, and an idealist and a visionary. What the historians believe that Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the wisest fool, madman, an idealist, and a visionary. He was a diligent ruler and undertook many projects. These projects were brilliantly conceived but poorly executed and always ended in failure. So he had brilliant ideas. Well, he was very intellectual person, very talented person, very well skilled. He was skilled in many languages also. But why it all failed, whatever? So why did it fail? Because of the poor execution, right? Now Muhammad bin Tughlaq introduced the first one in your book. It is taxation in the Doab. So what is this term Doab means? Doab means a fertile area between Ganga and Yamuna. So that area is very fertile. So what he did, he had increased the tax. Why? Because he was in need, or because he wanted to make his army strong, and for that he needed money. And from where will he get the money? By increasing the tax. Because this area, the agriculture was very much in surplus. So he thought by increasing the tax, he can get more of money to maintain his army. But what happened? There was a famine during that time. So when there is a famine, how will they pay the tax? They cannot. So we see here that tax collectors were ruthlessly collecting taxes, and then he had to order several relief measures. Thus the scheme of taxation in the Doab failed. So here we see one of his failure because the execution was not done properly. So now let's read taxation in the Doab from your book. Taxation in the Doab. Muhammad bin Tughlaq realized the importance of a strong and powerful army. To strengthen and secure the position of the ruler, to enhance his military resources, he needed additional revenue. Additional money he needed. Now, the Ganga Yamuna Doab, the area between the Ganga and the Yamuna rivers. So, area near the rivers, it's usually very fertile, isn't it? Surplus agriculture, that means what? Lot of money. So, that is why this area, what happened, was a fertile region. The land tax in this area was increased. Unfortunately, the rains failed and a severe famine broke out. People refused to pay the enhanced taxes. Whatever taxes was imposed on them, they refused to pay. But the tax collectors showed no mercy on them and continued to collect the taxes with such. So rigor means what? Very ruthlessly, very harshly. They collected that the peasants were ruined. Ruin means what? Okay, the peasants were totally collapsed. They were harmed. To escape the tyranny of the tax collectors, the peasants abandoned their lands and fled to the jungles. So, to escape this, to escape what? The paying of taxes, the peasants had to leave their lands and they went to jungles. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Muhammad bin Tughlaq ordered relief measures such as free kitchens, loans to farmers and improved irrigation facilities. However, the remedy came in too late. Executed. So whatever he planned, it was poorly executed because of what? The agriculture suffered a severe setback. Right? Now let's move to the next topic, that is transfer of the capital. The next step he took was transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri. Now Devagiri is where, you must have seen a map, that Devagiri, and it was renamed as Daulatabad. Now see page 45. Page 45, you see the map here. Now, where is Delhi and where is Devagiri? The south of the Delhi Sultanate. You see the south direction, isn't it? You see here, it's just opposite of that. This is the Devagiri. So, and this place was renamed as what? Daulatabad. So, from Delhi to Daulatabad, the main reason for transfer of this capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, there were two main reasons. The first one is what? This place, Devagiri, okay, was centrally located and it was equidistant from Delhi and other important places. So you see, from all these places, it was equal distance it had. So that is what he wanted to transfer Delhi to which place? Devagiri, Daulatabad. Now, next point was Delhi was within the reach of Mongols. Okay, you see Delhi, Mongols are here. You see here Delhi and Mongols are here. So what? Delhi was within the reach of Mongols. And also Daulatabad appeared to be safe distance from the Mongol attack in the future. Okay. So what? Many people had to travel from Delhi to Devagiri, Daulatabad. But it was a very tiring journey. Okay, and let's read from your book what happens next. So here we read transfer of the capital. Okay. The next step taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the transfer of the capital from Delhi to Devagiri, renamed Daulatabad in the Deccan. Two major reasons prompted the Sultan to take this decision. What is that? Central location. With the expansion of the Delhi Sultanate into the Deccan. Okay, now Delhi Sultanate expanded to Devagiri. Devagiri happened to be centrally located and nearly equidistant from Delhi and other important places in the Tughlaq Empire. Okay, next it was Mongol invasions. Repeated Mongol attacks posed a great threat to Delhi. Daulatabad, on the other hand, was at a safe distance from the invaders. Now, according to a contemporary historian, Ibn Battuta, the Sultan ordered the transfer of the entire population instead of shifting only his court and the officials. Elaborate arrangements were made for the journey to Devagiri, which was almost 1,250 kilometers from Delhi. It's very far. Instead of shifting only the office. So instead of shifting only the office, okay, only his court and the officials, the entire population was asked to move from Delhi to Daulatabad. Okay, you can imagine the amount of expenditure that they had to incur, right? So much of money needed to transfer people from Delhi to Daulatabad, the arrangements, right? So let's see what happens further. What was done? A broad road was built with trees on both sides, okay? Temporary huts were set up along the way. Then what happened next? Provisions were made for the supply of free food and drinks during the journey. So imagine number of people traveling from Delhi to Devagiri, Daulatabad, and then all these arrangements were made by the ruler, so nothing happens to them. Okay. However, the journey was long and arduous. So here, arduous means what? Very tiring. Okay. Many died on the way. The weary and homesick survivors could not adjust to the new and alien conditions of the new capital. So once when they reached there, the environment was very different than Delhi. Okay, so they could not adjust to that environment. So what happened? Why homesick survivors? Homesick, that means what? They had come from Delhi. Still they had that, they were missing their place. Okay, so they are still thinking about, though they have come to South, Daulatabad, but still their heart and mind is where? In Delhi. Okay. Homesick survivors could not adjust to the new and alien conditions of the new capital. Fine. Now, modern historians, however, do not accept the account of a mass exodus. Do not accept the account of the mass exodus means what? Mass exodus means departure of people. Mass means what? Crowd, right? A huge number of people. So, the historians, modern historians, do not agree to the departure of people. According to them means what? According to historians, Delhi was never depopulated because there is evidence to prove that construction work was carried out in Delhi during the period of transfer. So even though the people, Sultan, they all have come to Daulatabad, still some work was going on that shows that it was never depopulated. Delhi was never depopulated. Now, in the absence of the Sultan, what happens when the Sultan is not there, when his people are not there? What will happen? Now the people, now the Mongols will have more chances to attack Delhi. So Delhi was now exposed to renewed attacks by the Mongols because the Sultan is not there. But still, if the Sultan is not there, he's in Daulatabad, what will happen to Delhi? They will attack Delhi. The Mongols will attack Delhi. Now, realizing his folly, that means what? Realizing his mistake, Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital back to Delhi after 2 years. Now, understand the trauma of people traveling from Delhi to Daulatabad. And it was what? It was almost 1,250 kilometers from Delhi. Then again going back to Delhi. So this transfer, this movement was really very not very pleasing. Okay, the people were ordered to return. The suffering and mental agony caused great resentment. Means they were very angry and just they are getting tired. They are not in peace. They are not happy with the conditions there. So the experiment was a dismal failure. It had drained the treasury and reduced the grand and prosperous capital of Delhi to a mere shadow of its former shelf. That was drain the treasury. How? When they were traveling, they had what? The cost of travel, and also they had built on the way huts. They had, they built a broad road. Trees were planted both sides. So all these things, needed money. So much of wastage from the treasury reduced the grand and prosperous capital of Delhi to a mere shadow of its former self. Now, Daulatabad, a monument of misdirected energy, became a deserted city. So now Daulatabad became a deserted city. All these people moved back to Delhi. Okay, so this also shows that his execution, his planning was not very appropriate. We see the failure of this transfer of the capital. So children, we end this transfer of the capital here as part 3. So we end part 3 of this chapter. Till we meet again in the next video, in our 4th part, we'll see the schemes and the result of the scheme, token currency. We will do that in part 4. So children, take care till we meet again.